Today's Cardinals Countdown is brought to you by Sanderson Ford and powered by the Ford F-150. Check it out at sandersonford.com.
I gotta go! It's time to start the countdown!
Welcome to Four Peaks Brewing Company and the Cardinals Countdown here. Craig Cooley along with Jason Stabley. Brandon Keith, the former Arizona Cardinal lineman, in here to talk some Arizona Cardinals football. They are now 12-2. Who would have thought at the beginning of the season, as we were looking at this, they'd be 12-2, coming off a huge win last night, 40-17 over the Eagles in Philadelphia, and then flying back. And maybe the only damper on this game last night is we're waiting to see what the health is situation with Tyrann Mathieu. So, Brandon, what's your takeaway from this one last night? Big win.
Oh, dominant, definitely dominant. The run game. You know, I'm a former lineman, so I'm always giving love to my linemen. The way they ran the ball on that defense was incredible. The game plan was unique. You still brought in all the facets that you love, like, you know, the big play. They're not going to wait. You saw what happened with the first play, going big or second play, you know.
Right there, John Brown.
So they're heating up, and the only blow that we have to wait for is how critical is the injury to, you know, their safety.
That's key.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, he mentioned the front line. I mean, of course, that paved the way for the story of the game. 2 words. David Johnson was absolutely remarkable. He did exactly what the Cardinals needed him to do, especially being so thin at that position. And he did not play like a rookie last night, guys. 3 touchdowns, 187 yards. I mean, never been done before by a Cardinal running back. It's amazing.
He's phenomenal. I mean, listen, the guy came in and you thought Chris Johnson was out, Andre Ellington was out. What are we going to do at running back? We've got Kerwin Williams, who's shown flashes and shown great things a year ago when he had to step in. We didn't know much about David Johnson other than, he drops the ball once in a while. He fumbles occasionally early in the season. But my goodness, he's been a stalwart in there. The guy weighs, 230?
Yeah, he's a beast.
235. He's a big guy.
He's what we as linemen like to call musclehead.
Yeah.
Give him the ball and let him go to work. He doesn't really fit the system, you know, of what they like to do. You know, he's a big back, which is what Arians loves. He's more shifty. They said, I heard on the telecast last night, he reminds them of old Franco Harris or even Adrian James, the way he runs the ball. But you have to give him a testament, and definitely to this coaching staff, of finding ways to make his skill set fit. And that's what I love about this Cardinal team. Like, it doesn't matter who they play. Really, next man up right now is really working because they find a way to enhance their skill sets.
Yeah.
And that's definitely important with making a push for not only just to the playoffs, but actually, you know, to contend for a championship.
That touchdown run he had last night where he bounced off 5 or 6 different potential tacklers and made his way into the end zone was phenomenal. I mean, the balance he has, the ability to break tackles, and then he can catch the ball coming out of the backfield too. I mean, what is not to like about this guy?
I mean, of course, Bruce Arians, he's not really big on the whole tailback idea.
Right.
This guy, is he not like a hybrid?
Yes.
I mean, he could really do it all. He's
Yes.
almost got the tailback size, but he's shifty, he can cut. I mean, this is a really special player that I think Cardinal fans should be really excited to watch for years to come.
Definitely. It's just his jersey number. I wish he, you know, I'm a equal guy. So the fact that he wears 31 is kind of weird, you know what I mean? But he's making it work. And look at Ellington wearing 38. To me, it doesn't matter what your number is. As long as it means something to you and the way you play, he can go out there and wear 47 and nobody's going to care.
You like even numbers in
Oh,
the
yes.
jersey.
Oh, yeah. You have to, man. To me, it's just like your style. You know what I mean?
So you don't like Larry's either?
I mean, you
Or
know,
Patrick.
he's made the 11 popular. You know what I mean? But Larry could wear 13 or 19 or whatever. It doesn't matter. He's still Larry Fitzgerald.
Look, if DJ keeps going at this rate, he's going to make 31 really
Yeah.
popular.
There will definitely be a lot of 31 jerseys in the stands.
Yeah.
To me, there's 2 guys right now that have really been the nucleus of this team. And on offense, it's Carson Palmer. This guy is phenomenal. In his last 29 starts, he's 25-4 in 29 starts. And then on defense, it's Patrick Peterson. I mean, he's been the shutdown corner, the guy that's been the leader on that defensive side. And listen, I know we can name all 11 guys on offense and defense and say they're important. But to me, you can't afford to lose a Carson Palmer on offense or a Patrick Peterson on defense.
No, you can't. Going through everything that Patrick went through last year with, you know, even though he was a Pro Bowl player, he didn't play that way. He took a lot of slack for that. Even a lot of guys on the team were, making little jabs at him, but only in motivation. Because it's like, you have a guy that's so great, we need you to be that all the time. And then it comes to find out that the guy was borderline with his diabetes problem, which is, mentally can mess you up. And the fact that he's all in, you see him he's having fun, he's back to doing things that when he was the elite corner in the league at his second or third year, he's back to that. And the fact that he makes everybody around him so much better, he's like, he puts everything on himself, and he off from having fun. And I think there was a shot last night of him in an elf suit, which was killing me.
Showed up in Philadelphia
that
way.
Like, come on, guy. Like, even as a rookie, you didn't do that. But that just shows like where he is. And with Carson, I mean, he's just relaxed. He's like the country cool dude. Even though he's from California, he's just real smooth, and everybody, he's just infectious with his energy. And as a quarterback, that's what you want to see. You're a leader, to be relaxed, to be calm no matter what happens. And the fact that he's coming back from an ACL injury, and he's out there playing like he's a rookie himself.
Yeah. Hey, a couple of things I took away from last night. One was Patrick Peterson. You talked about him and his attitude. He's pretty ticked off last night when Troy Nicholas tackled him on that punt return.
He wasn't happy.
I mean, he was not happy. That caused the fumble, and you could see him on the sidelines. They showed him quickly. And his eyes, I mean, if they could burn a hole through somebody, I think Troy Nicholas probably should have stayed away from him at that point.
That was almost a butt fumble.
Oh, my gosh. It was crazy.
Another one.
And then the Carson Palmer side of things, I mean, he has been such an even-tempered guy. I mean, you listen to him in the radio after the game or on TV, he's just the typical prototype quarterback. He says everything right. Even when they tried to get him to talk about Tyrann Mathieu' injury, he put the brakes on, didn't go there. He just avoided things. He just does everything just right. But in the locker room and on the field, I think he's that fun guy to be around.
Yeah. How about last week when he broke Kurt Warner's touchdown record? The guy didn't want to talk about it in postgame. I mean, we, the media, trying to drag a soundbite out of him. Come on, man, give us something. But no, he's so humble. He said it's just such an honor to pass a guy like that. I mean, the fact that this guy's having the best season of his career at the age of 35, guys, it just doesn't get old. I mean, 4,277 passing yards this year, new career high. Here's my favorite, 173 pass attempts without an interception. He leads the league, and that's the franchise record. I mean, the guy's playing some ball.
The other thing last night I saw him do is John Brown dropped the first 3 passes thrown to him. The first one of the play of the game was a touchdown. Then there was another one, then another one. And then you saw Carson Palmer on the sidelines go over and grab him on the shoulder and talk to him. And then it was like, okay, we're all back in this thing together. And he said, you know what, it's not about failing or dropping passes. It's about bouncing back. He said the true competitors come back and fight back through those adversities.
Yeah, I mean, that's just leadership. I talked to Lyle Sinline, and Lyle's always telling me, like, if this guy can come back from ACL injury and have fun, why can't we go out there and do our jobs and play like it's nothing? And the same thing with, like you said, mishaps with a block, mishaps with a catch, guys running the wrong route. You don't need that quarterback. There's times when you need to get fiery. There's moments, but sometimes encouragement can be the best motivating factor for any player.
Yeah, and there was one, you could see the frustration on Carson's face when he lobbed that perfectly to John Brown in the corner of the end zone, and it just went off his hands. He just kind of...
Well, see, that right there is scary. When they give you the look. People, when you play in the game and everything's intense, whether it be a funny moment or a terrible moment or just a happy moment, when you come to the sideline and guys look at you like you're somewhat worthless and you don't deserve to be here, like that right there is enough to just say, okay, I got to get right, Because sometimes the yelling, it doesn't matter. It's like talking. It's like some guys have kids, so it's like, okay, you gonna talk to me like I'm talking to my kids, whatever. I can brush it off in one ear, out the other. But it's the look, especially of a coach. A coach can just stare at you and you're just like, oh my goodness, like it'll just everything will melt on you. If the camera catches you, it just everything is in there. So sometimes, just the look of disgust or despair or like, come on, bro, like you had it. Like that right there can be enough to just get everybody on the same page.
And the beauty of it is they know their personnel. You know, if it's a guy like Des Bryant, a personality like that, maybe you got to come down on the guy. But Carson Palmer knows Smokey Brown very, very well, knows his style. So he knows he's probably beating himself up way more than Carson can beat him up, So he just kind of probably has to lift him back up. And you could tell that Cardinals offense was trying to work him in, trying to get that confidence back because he just looked down out there after how many drops. I mean, it was
it was cold. It was 35, 36 degrees. You're in Philadelphia. You're on the road. It's not easy. We think it's easy, and we pay them big bucks to make those catches, but it's not always that easy. to do, but when you have a teammate that picks you up, especially the quarterback like a Carson Palmer who's been in the league 13 years, that means a lot.
Right. Well, I mean, I just love it that you don't see a lot of yelling and screaming,
No.
you know, and that's important with team chemistry and everything. Even when you go back to Patrick, you know, he was frustrated at the tight end for running into him, but he's like, come on, bro, like, what are you doing? You messing with my yardage here. And, you know, he gave him a look, and he was a little steamed about it, but it rolled off, you know, because guys were like, come on, look at the scoreboard, we're going to be okay. It's not about you anymore. And that's what you got to love from an infectious team. And Carson definitely brings that to all 3 games.
You know, there's an old saying in coaching, winning heals all ills.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
all those little things that happen
Right.
don't matter when you're winning. But when you're losing, if you flip it around and you become the Tennessee Titans, then all that stuff matters, right? Because then players are at each other's throats in the locker room, they're at each other's throats on the sideline. But when you are 14-2, 12-2, you know, things are looking pretty good.
Well, you're having fun, man. You know, that's the point of the game is, like, yes, we all want to make money. Yes, we all want to have, you know, eventually be in the Hall of Fame or Ring of Honor and stuff like that. But it's all about winning. Everybody remembers winners. And like, it doesn't matter if you win just the big game or if you win or if you end a streak or something that's special for that season. And that's what you see these teams playing for. You know, I love Calais' speech at the end of the game when he's like, we got this banner, but this is not it. You know, usually teams, especially like, you know, fan bases like this one, when you haven't won it in a while, it's like we won the championship. So nobody cares. Everybody's satisfied because they're like, yes, we got the division, you know, clap, let's go, let's celebrate. But this team is like so focused, like this is not enough, this is not going to do. The same thing with winning 11 games, 10 games, 12 games. They're like, no, we want more. And there's stuff bigger than this. And that's just, it just shows like the mindset of everybody in that building. And that's that's definitely something that you want and you need for your organization.
I think back to the bye week, right in the middle part of the season, Carson Palmer, we interviewed Carson Palmer at that point. And they said, "What? You're in the locker room, you're here, you're working out. What are you doing?" He goes, "You know what? I'll take my bye week starting February 8th.
There you
After
go.
the Super Bowl."
There you go.
And he said it back then. It was like, wow, this guy is all in. You know?
The crazy part is you have guys that, you know, in any other team, especially when you're having a good win streak, when you hear I'm off on Tuesday, I'm not coming up there. But this team, I mean, you still have half of the starters up there, whether it's just to see the guys or to work out. And that's just a testament of this team of like how important everything is to them. You go back to last year when Carson got hurt, Larry said he was there every day. He came up there every day. He was in the meeting rooms, everything. He was just shedding his knowledge and showing guys like, I'm sorry about this year. You know, I'm hurt, I'm down, but next year we're going to get it done. And they're staying true to that. And that definitely something that's ignited the team from this season on forward.
Yeah, you know, last Friday in the locker room after practice, you know, it's the media time. It's about like 1 to 1:15 is when you have an opportunity to talk to these guys. Well, at 1 o'clock, Patrick Peterson pops his head in the locker room and says, "Guys, defensive meeting, let's go." That is unplanned. When it's in the middle of media, matter of fact, it's actually a violation.
Yeah, exactly.
But so that just goes to show. I mean, this is unplanned. You know, according to the program. But I mean, to them, they know. Oh, it's defensive meeting. They all left. They were gone for almost the entire segment. So we're talking 10, 15 minutes where it's a defensive meeting led by Patrick Peterson. That's a leader.
It's huge. It's huge. It's important when players are leaders. And Coach Arians has told us that from the time he got here 3 years ago. I don't have to say all the stuff because I have leaders in the locker room that are going to say that stuff. Even at the beginning of the season. What do you tell the rookies for their first NFL game? What do you tell the rookies in their first season? I don't have to, he said. The veterans are going to tell them all that stuff. I don't have to be that guy.
Well, if you have, like you said, if you have leaders on your team, guys are just going to see what they do and follow them. And you don't have to worry about your coaches ripping and yelling and getting guys pumped up. Because it's like, you know, act like you've been here before. Let's get in line, let's work. We're all soldiers here. A lot of times, even when you have a great coach, you forget how great his staff can be. And then it trickles down to the players, from the superstar players to the guys that are just on the practice squad, but they do such a great job in getting guys ready. Sometimes it'll be you need emotion from those guys because the fans don't know them. Most of the players kind of really don't know their names, only their numbers. But if you see a guy here that's busting his hump and into it and definitely excited, it can only do so much to motivate this guy who's going out there for the world to see. And that's stuff that it goes unseen, but it definitely is not unheard within a team. A great team like this.
You mentioned showing emotion. How much did you guys love seeing James Betcher on the sideline last night, D coordinator, when Dayon Buchanan runs that back. I mean, he's fired up.
Yeah.
He's jumping around on the sideline. You love to see that out of a coach.
It's important because as a player, you love to have fun, but definitely like when you go back and watch the tape, like a coach or get on a guy, let's say like your buddy makes a great block or a touchdown saving tackle or something like that, something spectacular, and they're like, why aren't you excited? And you're like, okay. It's like when you score a touchdown, they really want linemen to get in the end zone and jump around. And for us as the players, when you can see your position coach run up, just jump or just be so excited to fist pump everybody, I mean, that's just something that it's the joy of the game, and that's something that you love to see. That's why I said everything is infectious from the coaching staff to the players, and it's showing. And they're just out there having fun, man. They don't care who they play.
It's clear they're having fun.
You know, you said act like you've been here before, but I'm here to say we've never been here before. We're 12-2.
Right,
this Arizona Cardinals team is 12-2. We've never been here before in Arizona, so I want to enjoy it.
It's true.
It's like, my goodness, yes, I want to have that, a bit of arrogance about it and start getting. Listen, I just spent a week in Seattle with my kids, and it's Seahawk crazy up there. Every Friday is Blue Friday. Every car you go by has a Seahawk sticker. Every business has a 12 in it for the 12th man.
They have a lot of bandwagon fans.
But it's ridiculous. But as my son said, hey, they've been to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. That's what happens. I'm excited right now. The Cardinals are 12-2. This is our football team, and they're one of the best in the league. I'm thrilled about that.
Oh, it's definitely a prideful moment for Cardinal fans everywhere. But we still got to get that monkey off our back, and that's this. I mean, it's such a rivalry between both programs. And the fact that Seattle has been the bully for so long, but now it's like we've been in the gym, we're ready to go, and now it's like we don't care who you have, Legion of Boom or whoever. Like we can go out there, we got our own Legion of Boom. They need to come up with a name for that. But I mean that secondary is just as dominant as Seattle's ever.
I think it's the SEC. Secondary.
It's phenomenal, man. You look out there, like you see Auburn, LSU, Alabama, and then whoever else they want to put out there.
Now,